Hello guys, what is up? Domino here. We're doing episode 39 of my Skyrim Dawnguard playthrough, and we're doing the quest Prophet. And in this episode, we're gonna see Harkon, the Master Lord Uber Vampire of Castle whatchamacallit. He's basically going to talk about his grand master plan for all of everything. And spoiler alert, it's not good for anyone but him. But anywho, the Prophet quest is kind of related to, I want to say it's kind of one of these open-ended quests in the style of, like I was discussing in the previous episode, Morrowind and Daggerfall, quests like games like that where you had to talk to people to figure out what the information you needed to proceed with the quest. There's no real quest indicator. You just have to talk and talk and talk and talk and find out somebody who knows what's going on. Anywho, this is a little background on Serana. Serana is your vampire, I would say partner slash companion. She's good at magic. She's good at the magic and like the stabby stuff. She does the knife stuff. But she has a nice health drain ability, and you're gonna see that later in the playthrough. You're gonna see that when she actually gets into some combat, she can drain the life of enemies. She's a really good companion. I really had a tough time choosing between her and the Dark Brotherhood. The Dark Brotherhood guy, of course, does what he does. He's good with the light armor and the daggers, but she's got that magic, and she brings that magic to the table. Like the necromancy, she can bring stuff back to the dead to fight for her and stuff like that. So it was kind of hard for me to choose because I always liked running the double assassins just because of the high damage output. But overall, I think she has more capabilities than the Dark Brotherhood guy. So I think I put the Dark Brotherhood guy on hold later. Have him take a break, and I use her as my sidekick for most of the playthrough. I think when she becomes available, she isn't available up front. She's sort of like a NPC for a while. She's got the quest and the quest information and whatever. But you can definitely see into her mentality. She's talking about how she likes being a vampire, doesn't have a problem with it, does not want to get cured. This is Mr. Bad. This is Mr. Bad Boy, Lord Harkon. You are here. Good. Now, unless you're incredibly dense, you should be getting bad vibes from this guy the minute you interact with him. He's got kind of this god complex going on. He's scheming, he's crafty. You can tell that he's not exactly trustworthy, but I'm not going to spoil it. I'm not going to spoil it for you guys because I'm a good person. I'll let you guys discover how much of a idiot this guy is. And it kind of brings me up to the finale you have against this guy, which is a glitchy, buggy mess. And I recorded it all, and I'm going to show you guys what's going on, and you can see my frustration and failure. Anyway, as you can hear from this guy, what he's basically saying is that he's got a tool, a vampire tool, a scroll essentially, that is going to knock out the sun. And that's good for vampires because apparently they do not like the sun. However, this big plot hole, vampires can kind of exist outside. I mean you can't regenerate health, but I don't see how the sun is really a problem for these vampires, especially when they can walk outside anytime they please. It's really just a matter of your health regenerating and your stats. I guess you take a stat penalty, but it's good for the lore. Now this is something in Skyrim that just bugs the crap out of me. You'll be following an NPC and he constantly turns around. See, I'm following him. You gotta put some distance in between you and an NPC you're following, or he'll constantly be turning around and doing stupid stuff. Anyway, he gives a big speech. He talks to all his people that kind of just chill out down in the ceremony room, eating their they have like human cattle just splayed out all over the tables that they feed on. I like that he's got the standard like, "Hey guys, I'm talking" animation. He goes da 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 da. It's kind of funny.
The discovery of an elder scroll in Skyrim to lure a Moth priest here.
Now, this Moth priest, he is the guy that can read this scroll that you need to do. And this Moth priest is, of course, trouble, and you got to do a little bit of breaking him in, if you know what I mean, because he wants to cause trouble. But as you can see, like I was saying, this quest has to do with kind of a throwback to the old school Elder Scrolls games where they would just tell you, go find so-and-so, and you got to go talk to a million people to figure out where to go. There's no quest arrow. See, look up here. There's no quest arrow. So basically, you got to go do the investigating yourself. You got to find the people you need to do. But in kind of the tradition of Skyrim, they give you all the clues and hints like on a silver platter, so you're not gonna have a whole lot of trouble. But it's more of just a throwback, like, hey guys, remember when we used to not tell you where to go for your quests? That's kind of what they're doing here. I liked it. I like any sort of throwback to Morrowind or Daggerfall.
How may I serve you, my listener? Say the word, master.
Now, I've said this before, but I had a Dark Brotherhood companion who got stuck or killed or something. I don't know what happened to her, but she was pretty awesome. And then she just randomly disappeared one day. Got stuck in a cave or something, cavern. Never saw her ever again. And then went back like a week later, and she was gone. I found that if you ever lose your NPC or your companion, get yourself arrested. When you're arrested and released, it resets the location of whoever. And so... Now, here's a very interesting occurrence that's happened to me a number of times. I'll be running by this tower on the left. Okay, we're on an island, mind you. This is like a vampire island, a little secluded area. The only way to get here is through a boat. Now, these guys are on here, these Dawnguard. They just show up out of nowhere. It's crazy. How did he get here with no boat? Now you see Kusith, he does a lot of damage, but as you can see up here, yeah, he doesn't have any health. And so the demon dog, I love him, but he dies so quickly, and it makes me kind of upset because he's cool. Now when this guy spawns here, his friend is in the tower over there, and so you need to go deal with him too, because it won't let you fast travel because he's too close. He's in your vicinity essentially, and that's no good. I don't know how these guys got here. They weren't here when I entered, that's for sure. There is some sort of mechanic in the game. When you're a vampire, it gives the chance that Dawnguard will spawn along the road. Like, I'd be running along the road, and all of a sudden a Dawnguard would show up. Now, these guys are tough. I'm telling you right now, these Dawnguard guys are scaled to your level. They are not like most of the creatures that I'm able to roll over and just wreck. These guys were tough, and when they come in a group, and you're going to see later on in the next episode, when you actually have to go help this Moth priest out, a giant gang of Dawnguard show up, and they are tough customers. I'm gonna tell you that right now. So you gotta be on your toes with them, especially if you're like me and you don't have a whole lot of armor. You don't have a whole lot of. I can't sit there and swing on these guys because they're too tough. So I had to do a lot of running, like we were doing a little circle strafe, if you know what I mean. But here, like, I'm in the throes of kind of, like, why did this happen? I'm trying to resurrect this Kusith because he's my favorite dog. Now, unfortunately, when you do this, he comes back, but you can't keep him because he eventually dissolves into ash. Sucks. Alright, so in this part of the playthrough, basically, I go to just sell stuff and unload all my items. This is a process I've done like countless times, and yes, he's dead. He's just, I don't get it. I don't get it. Anyway, I have to go sell stuff. Another huge complaint I have about this game. This is the bugged area, okay? There's some kind of monster spawning within an area here, or an enemy spawning, that will not let you fast travel unless you run really far in. If you just spawn yourself and try to fast travel from that spot, it usually won't let you. So you gotta kind of run around and get out of range of that. Now, Proudspire Manor is where I sell stuff. I have a little trick where I can sell stuff to my wife. I have a wife, the one from the Redwood Trading Post from the first quest in the game. Yeah, you can sell her stuff. She's got about 750 or 1,000 gold, so it's a good way to make some money. I have to do this over and over and over again because I have stuff that's so valuable. Ever since I did the thing where you get all the gemstones, I'm just making so much, have all these valuable stones, and I can't unload them because nobody has any gold or gems or jewels or anything. So it's hard to get your money's worth here, and I'm tempted just to throw it all away because it's ridiculous. Anyway, this is kind of my favorite house. This is actually one of my favorite houses of all the houses that you can buy currently. Now, I haven't played Hearthfire yet, but this is this is definitely my favorite house.
It's a wonderful house, my love. If you don't mind, I'm going to start a small store. Something to do whenever you're... We have a cozy little profit. Here. This is trinkets, odds and ends, that sort of thing.
Yeah, she's got 750 gold. Now the trick with any of these sellers is to kind of gauge what you can kind of get rid of, because sometimes you're not going to get the total value of the items that you sell them. Like if I have 8 of them and she'll only pay partial for the last one, I don't mind losing a little money on that, just because I consider that the cost of doing business. Especially considering there are no NPCs with any money in this game. I played through the whole game and I can't find anybody with any money. I'm trying to get my speechcraft skill up to the point where everybody gets an extra 1,000 gold. I really need that, but it's going slowly. Definitely. Now the next stop is going to be the Thieves Guild. If you want a quick way to unload stuff, you want to join the Thieves Guild, because they have these fences. The Tonila, I think is her name, and you can unload all your stuff on her. She's got 1,500, I think, so she's got some serious money. If you can get her enough stuff, it makes it worth it. Unfortunately, she doesn't reset for a while. I don't know how long it takes for the merchants to reset. I've tried exiting and saving and then reloading. It doesn't work. It may have worked before they patched it, but not anymore. And as I said before, another note that when you hunger as a vampire, you do not aggro people like crazy anymore. So you can be blood starved, but people will make comments about your appearance and just be kind of weirded out.
Good to see you again, friend.
Now, the gal you want to talk to is not this way. I always make this mistake, but
I guess I have a minute.
She's in the other tunnel. But she's got tons of gold. She's got tons of money, so makes a good place to unload your stuff, especially your gems and gemstones. Once you get that stone of Barenthia, your chances you're guaranteed to get gems and gemstones with every pot and vase and whatever you loot and chest you loot. So you're gonna be swimming in these stones, and it's impossible to sell them all. I've got so much stuff I need to sell. I wish I could sell all this stuff and get money for it. I don't want to just leave it, but yeah, that's her. She's got 1,500, like I said. I know I said that about 50 times, but she'll buy basically anything, so you can unload whatever you got to her. I did pick up a crossbow. I do want to use the crossbow. That is something that I currently have planned. I've actually never been big on the ranged when I play Skyrim, and I don't know why. Maybe it's because in Oblivion I used the bow almost consistently, and I just found it got a little boring. I don't know. When you use the bow too much, and there are people like that use the bow nonstop. Everything, they're shooting arrows every time, and it gets a little tiring for me. I like the close up stuff a little.
Excuse me. So, feeling loose? How about you run a job for me?
Now, basically, after I finish the Dawnguard stuff, I'm gonna come back to the Thieves Guild. I'm gonna continue doing the quest for the Thieves Guild because I still have a bunch of grinding type stuff that I can do over there, and that's pretty much a good way to finish out the thing. I also need to do that skeleton key quest, which is also important. Although, like I've said, I do not want to get rid of the skeleton key. I like the thing too much. It's just, I like not going through a million lockpicks, and I'm gonna wait till my lockpicking gets to be 100 before I get rid of that thing, because it's like free. It's like free experience basically. You can use it as many times as you want, and it doesn't break, and you can level up your lockpicking really fast with it.
I am yours to command. Of course.
Now I've got him carrying the vampire armor. That's a pretty cool. I like the vampire armor. I don't necessarily like how it looks though. I don't know. I'm still on the fence about it. I may wear that in my next my next videos. I still maintain that I love the Nightingale armor, and if you guys want to know how to get it, I would suggest doing the Thieves Guild quest. It's the reward for joining the Nightingale Order for the Thieves Guild. Now basically I sent him home because I'm going to take Serana with me for a while. And you want to make sure you do that if you get rid of a NPC. Don't leave them. Don't tell them to wait somewhere and then leave and then forget where they are, because they're gonna sit there with their with their thumb in their mouth, and they're gonna stay there for a week, if not more, and then eventually decide to reset and go home. But during that time, you can't get any new followers because it's still considered that you have a follower. So. Love Shadowmere too, but I do like the spectral horse that you get as well. That's a very cool horse, and I will show you that later. That is coming up. Do not worry. That is the freaking coolest horse in the whole game, hands down. Even though I'm always gonna have a good a soft spot in my heart for Shadowmere, only because that was my favorite horse in Oblivion, and it's just reliable. It's a reliable horse. There's nothing you can really say. It's a reliable horse. I would recommend downloading the plugin to prevent Shadowmere from dying from falling damage, because I found that to be a bit annoying. Now there are two dogs like this, vampire dogs. This is Garmir. And that's the second dog, but after you kill the first one, Kusith died, and that kind of made me a little bit sad, but your Garmer will follow you as well. But you just got to be careful with these things, because these dogs die very easily. They cannot take any punishment. And just like every other dumb companion, they charge every time. They run into the fray, they get in front of your swings. The AI on the dogs is kind of sucks, but it's cool that you can take them as well as a companion. So you can roll essentially with 3 people, plus your spectral assassin if it lets you. I don't know. I have to test that. I'll get back to you on that one.